I'm Hanan.
I'm Lina.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Obnoxiously Pleasant podcast. This week, we're going to be talking about what, Lina?
All the questions Muslims get asked during this month of Ramadan, and some of them are funny, some of them are annoying, but we're going to talk about that. And then the other topic we're going to discuss are just moments that every Muslim experiences. Some of them are like struggles or just funny situations that we find ourselves in during this month. But before we get into those two topics, I wanted to ask you. How do you, every year there seems to be confusion about when Ramadan is. Are you do you rely on the scientific method, the calculations, or do you rely on going outside and sighting the moon, or waiting for someone to tell you, hey, I saw the moon, it's Ramadan tomorrow?
Okay, so let's just say I rely on Google. Okay.
On Google. Okay.
I rely on Google.
Really? That's what you
As
rely on?
terrible as that sounds. And my
Okay.
mom.
And your
Okay.
mom.
Like,
What
I
does your
just,
mom rely on?
my mom relies on the sighting of the moon. Okay.
Okay.
But in all, that's all jokes. Like, but in all seriousness, I actually rely on ISNA. So,
Okay.
and I think they go by like what NASA says. I could be wrong. There's probably a much
Okay.
more scientific term for it, but they go
Mm-hmm.
by the phases of the moon that are already like predetermined. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah, I
just
mean,
kind
as
of,
mhm.
I just like fast when everyone tells me, "Hey, Ramadan's tomorrow."
I
And
mean, yeah, that's fair. My only concern, like, I don't care either way. Like, I just want to fast with everybody, like my family, whether they're in Ohio
So
or
you
they're
basically go by the sighting of the moon in Cleveland.
pretty much, because I can't like celebrate Eid on a whole
Yeah.
different day than they do. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Exactly.
my only concern.
Exactly. That's everybody. So you just
Yeah,
answered your own question. Everybody
yeah,
goes by like what their family is doing, by like if you belong
exactly.
to like whatever community or mosque or whatever, usually that's what people go by because you know you're gonna fast with them and you're gonna have Eid with them.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get into our first topic, which
Okay.
it's the questions that we always get asked. And I asked my kids also, and I had a funny one to share with you.
Okay.
But like, these are the questions that we face as Muslims, and we face these growing up in this country when Ramadan begins, or right before Ramadan begins, or during the month. So the first one, okay, I want your reaction to this.
Okay.
What do you automatically think of or want to say when someone says to you, "Not even water"?
I want to be like, yes, I'm a camel. You don't realize that. Like I can I could store water for 30 days. No,
Yeah,
I think honestly, like it doesn't bother me. I'm gonna be complete. It really doesn't bother me. It is a foreign concept. There is fasting in other religions. You got to think about it, but
yeah,
it's not like fasting during Ramadan where you completely abstain from like food and water and
yeah,
everything, from sun up to sundown. Other religions have different forms of fasting. So like I get it. I
yeah.
totally understand. I just think it's always funny because it's like every year
Yeah,
people
every
are
year we
like,
get asked the same question.
not even water?
Um, yeah.
No.
So the next one, what is Ramadan about? Why is this month so important for Muslims? And I explained this I tried my best to explain to my kids how to respond to that, because, like you said, I don't get annoyed when people ask me
Yeah,
questions. I think it's awesome that they're interested and they want to
of
know,
course.
and there's nothing wrong with wanting to learn.
First of all, you really get to focus on building positive habits that the month pushes you to. If you're somebody who's like lacking in your prayer, it pushes you to do more of that. If you're
Hmm.
lacking in reading Quran, it pushes you more into doing that. But it also
Yeah.
pushes you into doing other things like spending time with your family, even if you don't want to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and like, I think some people just want to know why it's so important for us, and it's important because, like from a theology point of view or perspective, the reason, for us, we celebrate this month and it's a big deal for us is because that's when the Quran was really revealed. That's
Yeah,
what we believe. This is when the Quran, the first revelations, came to
yeah.
the Prophet Muhammad. This was the month, and this is why it's a big deal for us.
Awesome. Yeah.
Um, yeah, peace be upon him. Okay, so I think we answered that question. Have you ever gotten the question? So it's like your Christmas. Have you ever gotten that question?
Yeah, yeah, and I tell people, I'm like, yeah, kind of, sort of. It's a very holy month. It's a month of celebration, but it's not what you would think a celebration looks like, right? But
Hmm.
it is a celebration from the perspective of like worship and family getting together, right? Because
Yeah,
that's for a lot of people, that's what Christmas is. It's you seeing
and food
family
and
and
gatherings
friends.
and just
Exactly.
being, yeah,
It's
yeah.
seeing family and friends that you haven't seen in a really long time. And for me,
Hmm.
as much as I loved Ramadan in the pandemic, and we talked about this, I
Yes, we
am
did.
looking a little forward to some social gatherings during Ramadan this year. Like I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
you are.
like lie and say, oh my God, I hate them all. But
Okay.
yeah, it really is kind of like Christmas in that sense, that you see people and you catch up with people that you haven't in like a really long time.
I mean, when they say that, I'm like, it's a big celebration. It's a big
Yeah.
deal. I
Yep.
think that's how it's similar, but it's completely different, obviously. But
Oh,
anyway,
of
that's
course.
fine. Yeah.
Sorry, like we need to. I slept on my neck wrong, or as you say, I got left hawa. My neck
Okay,
like
okay.
really hurts
It
today.
hurts you? Oh,
I'm
salente.
struggling today. Listen, I'm like, I'm struggling today. Left hawa. That's
Mm,
all I could. And every time I thought of that, I just laughed
you
today
just
while
laugh.
I was
Yeah, a
walking
brisk
around.
wind. A
I caught a
brisk
brisk wind
wind.
in my neck and
Yeah.
shoulder, guys.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna go
Anyways,
to question number 4.
yeah.
How can you survive without food and water for 30 days?
I mean,
Okay.
it's not like we're not eating. You eat
That's the
every day
thing.
after sundown.
Yeah, you have to explain to them when they ask you this question, guys, like I'm not fasting the
I
entire
know.
30 days with no food or water.
But I will say it's gotten so much better since, like, well, at least for me, I guess because I'm not friends, for example, with like our kids' age,
I'll
right?
tell you
So
what
who have
Raya said.
what
I'll
what
tell you
did
what
they
my
have these
daughter said.
questions?
Yeah, so she said she gave me like some of them were very like they overlap, they were similar. But there was one, like one kid the other day asked her, he's like, if God loves you so much, why would he want you to starve? And I'm like, wow, that's
That's rough.
kids.
That's
It's
deep.
fine.
That's
And
pretty rough.
yeah, and I'm like, wow, okay. And I'm like, how did you
And it's
respond
not
to
so
that?
much about anybody wanting you to starve. It's you're
Yeah.
not starving. You're
Yeah, but
just
these are little kids though. Like,
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
fair,
yeah.
them, they're
But
little kids.
I will say, interjection. But don't you feel, well, yeah, well, I guess your experience can't really be compared because you went to a Catholic school, right?
Yes, I went to a
So
Catholic school.
I went to public school, and I feel
Hmm.
like now there's a lot more kids with my son that are fasting and observing Ramadan than there were when
Yes,
I was in
yes,
school,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I feel like there's like a little they have their own little community now. It's really
And
great.
the school that they go to, I mean, they're so supportive and so awesome. And I
Exactly.
got an
Yeah.
email from them today, like one of the teachers saying, let us know if you need us to do anything or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different kind of, and I don't think when we were growing up, it was anything like hateful or bad. It was just
No, but I
people
think
just
it's
weren't
just what was
aware.
available. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just exactly people weren't aware, and it was just it was like, think about it, like where we were in our communities, like in the 90s. I mean,
Hmm.
age myself,
Yeah,
but like
whatever everybody knows.
growing up late 80s, 90s, yeah, it just wasn't,
Hmm.
it wasn't like now where there's just a
Yeah,
lot more of us like running around and observing
exactly.
Ramadan.
Exactly.
And
So
it's not just Arab Americans. Like I will say, like growing up in my area in Northern Virginia, most
mhm.
of the people that were observing Ramadan with me were actually like Pakistani Americans, right?
Yeah.
So like, or the children of immigrants or immigrants themselves. So those are the people that I really would spend my time observing
Yeah,
Ramadan with, were my friends who were like of, because that's just in my area. That's the
yeah, yeah,
other
yeah. It was
immigrant
yeah,
population that's prevalent. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay,
just
so
Muslim immigrant, sorry, population that's prevalent.
sure. So the next question is once they understand that it's from dawn to sunset and it's not the whole 30 days, the next question you usually get is, isn't it hard? I can never do it. So is it hard?
Yeah, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's hard, especially as somebody who consumes coffee a lot per day. Yes, it's hard. And you know what? People are like, yeah, give it up, give it up. I'm like, no,
No,
no, I'm not going to give
I'm
it up.
not
I'm just going
giving
to
it up
go
coffee.
hard until, but let me tell you, first day I'm not just on the struggle bus. I am
Yeah.
the captain of the struggle bus. Like I'm
Yeah. But you know what?
tired. My head hurts.
Yeah, it's tough. Your body has to adjust. But in terms of like in regards to people telling you to give up coffee, I'm just like, you know what? As a Muslim, there's already enough things that I can't do. I'm drinking my damn coffee. Leave me the F alone. Okay. Let me have my coffee.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not just that. It's not just about the coffee. I mean, I seriously, for me, it's such a big part of my day. Like it's something I truly enjoy. I always tell people are like, "Oh, well,
Yeah,
why don't you just I'm like, I would not ask you to give up something that you truly enjoy. So
exactly.
I love coffee. And I love it in all its forms, right? Like
Yeah.
I love the Arabic coffee, like like the Turkish
I
coffee.
love
I
that
love
stuff.
or Greek coffee, depending on where you are from in the world,
Yeah,
right?
let's not
So
offend anybody because, okay, whatever.
after hummus gate,
After
right?
hummus gate, jeez. Okay.
God,
Let's
who
go on
knew
to
that food was so freaking polarizing?
you know what?
Anyways,
Whatever. Let's go to the next question. So, and then sometimes people get more interested and they want to know a little bit more. And then one question that I used to get a lot is, what about pregnant women or people who are sick or older
Yeah.
people? You know, and just to explain to people, since we're already asking questions, I mean answering questions. Do you want to take that one?
Oh, yeah. So if you are pregnant, you obviously do not have to fast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is if you are sick, you don't have to fast. If you're
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's on medication that needs to be taken like every couple few hours, or if you're, some people who are diabetic don't fast.
Yeah.
It's not something, yes, it's a requirement, but like God is also like merciful. Like one of the
Mm-hmm.
99 names of Allah is that most merciful. So
Yes.
if you're somebody who you are physically incapable of fasting, you we're not gonna like nobody wants you to die. It's cool,
Exactly.
right?
That's not
Like you don't
that's not
have
the
to.
point. Yeah. And then you
Yeah,
can
no,
wait,
it's not the
there's
point.
other things that you can do as a Muslim during this month. You can still be part of it. It's just,
Yeah.
you can't fast. It's fine. It doesn't mean, you know,
I
anything
mean, and
bad or
and and honestly, like I want people, and I'm gonna interject, and I'm about to get like so uncomfortable for some people, but it's okay. We're all
okay.
adults here, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of people, just to show you, like to go back to my point about how merciful Allah is in these situations, or on us as like believers or as
Mhm.
worshipers, right? Like ibad Allah.
Yeah.
As a woman, when you have your period, you don't have to fast. You know why? Because that
Mhm.
is an exhausting week of your life.
Of
Some people,
course.
it's really easy. Some people, it's not easy at all. But people say, oh, it's because you're dirty. It's because of this. No, it's not
No,
because of that. It's because
that's not the
Allah is
reason.
merciful,
Yeah.
and Allah did not, you cannot literally and figuratively be losing a part of you and be tired and not well, and then be expected to do this other,
Yeah.
task that's also heavy on your, like on hard on your body. So
Yes. I'm glad
that's,
you mentioned that.
yeah,
Um
we're all adults
s-
here. And even if
yeah,
you're not, it's
exactly.
okay to talk about our periods, guys. Something that is
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
taboo in our culture is all
There's no
right.
need to, it doesn't have to be taboo. It's something that, I mean, this is not what the religion teaches us anyway. But
No, 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 no.
do you, so the next question, do you mind if I eat or drink in front of you? Like, I have friends or colleagues who get
Yeah.
worried and I'm just like, guys,
No.
it
But
doesn't bother
honestly,
me.
I honestly think that when somebody asks that question, I don't take offense to it. I think it's
Of course.
actually
No, no,
really
no. This is
nice.
not offensive. And I think it's
Yeah.
so sweet of them. So I'm always like, listen, you can eat whatever you want to
Yeah, like do
eat.
you,
You can
boo?
drink. Tell, like, what I
You
explained
know
to them
what?
is
Can I
that,
I'm going to be really mean. Yes,
what?
I don't
Tell me.
mind,
Oh,
but if they're
you're,
drinking coffee,
it's the coffee, right?
I get so, like it's not that I don't want them to, it's just I get really sad. Like I'm
Okay.
not going to lie.
There's another, the next topic when we go to the next segment, there's a
We'll talk
section
about
about
that.
this that I want to talk about. But just when someone even is nice enough to ask me that,
Yeah.
focus. We're not there yet. When someone is nice, I always explain to them, I'm like, listen, guys, I do this for God. I'm not doing it for anybody. And when I do it, I'm 100% in. Like, I'm not like,
Yeah,
oh my
for
God, I
sure.
gotta do it. Like, it's not about that. If that's how you feel, you
But let me
shouldn't be
tell you,
doing it.
I have moments like that where I'm like, I just gotta get through the day.
It's okay.
Allah,
You
please
just
help
got to get through
me.
the day, but it doesn't mean you don't want to do it. You know what I
No, no,
mean?
no, no.
So when someone asks me, I'm like, thank you guys. It's really sweet. You don't have to worry about me. You can, and I'm like, it's okay. Eat more because I get more like credit with God. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Eat in front of me,
I don't know about
drink.
more credit.
Okay. These are the lies I tell myself. Okay. Can you just stop? Can you not ruin it for me?
I'm gonna let you have
Anyway.
this.
Yes, so it's fine if you ask us that.
Yeah.
Usually, I think like 99% of us don't mind. Like,
No.
there's no point in us doing fasting if we're gonna
I
be
think
upset if
I don't think
someone eats
I've
in
met
front of us.
anybody, yeah, fasting that minds. I mean, some people prefer just like not to participate in things where other people
Yeah.
are eating. They're just mostly because we can get to this in like the
Yeah, yeah,
the
and
second section,
then the
but
next
like,
section,
yeah,
yeah.
because
Okay, so
or I could just speak for myself. Most of the time, I don't participate because I'm just a Krabby Patty. Like that's what
yeah,
it comes down
maybe.
to.
Okay, last question that we
Okay,
usually get as Muslims during this month. How much weight do you lose during Ramadan?
none,
So
absolutely none,
That,
none.
see, that's the thing. The assumption is that we have our own built-in diet system or something. I'm like, guys, we
I
don't lose
wish,
weight.
I wish. Do you know?
It's
I
the
wish.
opposite. It's the opposite,
Yeah,
because like, yes, you're not eating all day, but then you're getting up in the middle of the night, you stuff your face with food, and then once iftar rolls around, yeah, I don't know. And then the sweets and the desserts. Like,
I
how can
know.
you
And
lose
I have
weight?
this like, and you know what's really funny is that the entirety of the year, I don't have a sweet tooth. Ramadan rolls
Mhm.
around, and it is just out of
Really?
freaking control. I'm just like,
Okay,
give
can I
me
just say,
all the
speaking of
kunafa.
sweets, yeah, it's knafa. Speaking of all the sweets,
Whatever.
okay,
Kunafa.
there was one Ramadan, obviously not last Ramadan or the previous because it was the pandemic and we were all stuffing our faces. But there was one Ramadan where me and my husband decided we're not gonna do any sweets, we're not gonna have any sweets, and that's the first Ramadan that I actually lost weight. So I think it's the
Makes
sweets.
sense. It
Yeah, I
is.
think it's the
It
sweets.
is.
Okay, so
Honestly,
now,
though, I can't live without it. It's okay.
yeah, it's fine, dude. We're fasting all day. We deserve to eat. So now we're going to talk about the moments that every Muslim experiences during this month. Some of them are funny, some of them are not. But the first one is bad breath.
Honestly, I feel sometimes that it's more like in my mind than it
Yeah,
actually is in reality. Because like I brush my teeth, I floss, I
mouthwash,
use mouthwash.
definitely.
I mean,
But
if
you know
I
what's good about this year and the
what?
couple of years? The masks. I wear my mask everywhere. So now I don't feel as I'm not going to be as self-conscious about it as I was before.
No, 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 no.
Because like that's the thing, like we brush our teeth, we use
Yeah,
mouthwash, but sometimes we're always, like you said, the concern is like, oh my god, what, because we haven't had anything in our system, in our mouth, so of course it's going to
exactly.
be you know
Exactly.
so yeah, I mean, like, so that's one of the things that we sometimes worry about. Number two, scarfing down food at suhoor.
I can't do that. I
You
can't. I
can't.
have a hard time having regular people breakfast. Imagine
Do
like
you do
getting
suhoor?
I yes. Yes, because I have a
Okay.
child that's fasting, so we get up, we make it a point. It is so hard for me because half the time I feel like I just want to barf.
Yeah, it is hard. And I used to, before the kids started fasting, I used to just skip it. I just get up to drink water,
Me
honestly.
too. Like I just did
Like
right
I just,
now.
yeah,
From
it's
I'd
just,
keep one of these lovely red solo cups right by my bed.
yeah, that's the thing. I
Done.
just kept water next to my bed. Like I'd get up to pray Fajr or whatever, but that's it. I never actually ate. Like you said earlier, it's our kids. We
Yeah,
have to feed them, so it's like we got to get up and feed them because they are fasting. Um,
absolutely.
okay, so the other moment or awkward moment or situation where you're fasting and then you forget you're fasting and then you end up eating something or taking a sip of water. Your reaction to that's happened by accident to everybody.
Absolutely.
What's your initial reaction when that happens to you?
Alhamdulillah.
It's like, thank you, God. You felt my pain. You helped me out.
That's why I'm like, that was a sign.
Yeah.
He knows. He
He
knows
knows she's
what
struggling.
I'm
Let me
going
just let
through.
her forget for a minute and have her
Exactly.
have a bite or drink something.
Exactly.
That's so funny. Yeah. I think, like, and then you realize after, you're like, oh, snap. I mean, that doesn't usually happen often to me, though.
No, 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 no. Me neither. Me
Yeah.
neither. When it does, I am so thankful.
Yeah. You're like, Alhamdulillah.
Pretty
Okay.
much.
So another thing that usually happens, and it seems it only happens during Ramadan or when I'm fasting, when a colleague brings in like donuts to work for everybody. And I'm just like, really? On the day that I'm fasting?
Thankfully, this year I'm working from home for the entire month of Ramadan.
Yeah, lucky you. But you know what? I mean, now with after the pandemic, I'm like, I don't even want I don't want to touch anybody's food that they bring in. I can't.
That's
Like, it's
true.
weird,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Well, not if it's like donuts, especially duck donuts.
Right?
Yeah,
What donuts?
duck donuts.
What the hell is that? What?
You don't know what duck donuts are?
No, what is that?
That's what we're doing after Ramadan. Duck donuts are these like so first of all, like the flagship store was in like Duck, like North Carolina, like in the Outer
Okay.
Banks.
Okay.
And it is the most delicious donut you will ever have. It's fluffy, it's
So how are
cake-like.
we gonna get it
You
here?
could
Do they
put
have
Oh yeah, they have them all over the one's about to open across the street from my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
خلاص,
so
it's a date then.
good.
Okay. I
Yes.
mean, do we really need the donuts? In كان أنا ولا
Yeah.
أنتِ?
Yes, of course we need the donuts.
Dude, there's like 500 calories in each one.
I don't
Okay, we were
care.
fasting, right? Yeah.
It will be fine.
Okay,
Anyways.
so the thing that how you mentioned earlier about coffee and like smelling coffee. So I feel
Yeah.
like I get a heightened sense of smell during this month. And I searched it up, and it's true that when you're fasting, the sense of smell kind of gets heightened. So
I
for
don't
me,
know if it's just overall. For me, it's just for coffee.
that's the thing. I can smell coffee a mile away when I'm fasting. And I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I can
Yeah.
have that right now. Like, I
Yeah,
could care
yeah,
less
yeah.
about food. I do not
Me
care
too.
about food. And you know what? I can even deal with the no water. Okay. But the coffee is what hurts the most. Alhamdulillah. There's another thing that some Muslims do. I mean, I've seen it enough. where they Google pictures or videos of food.
I
Kind of
mean, if
like,
it pops up on Instagram and stuff, then yeah, but like I don't go hunting for it.
yeah. Yeah, I never understood that either. Okay, so here's another thing. Constantly checking the time to see how many hours or minutes are left
No,
until you break your
because I
fast.
always tell people, I'm like, look, it's Fajr, Dhuhr, and
Mhm.
then Asr. And then it's
Okay,
Maghrib Isha. So it's like,
that's true. It is
that's
like that.
just like literally Asr lasts for what I feel like
A long
is,
time. A long
it,
time. And
it
it's the
is.
hour right before iftar. What happens to me is like, oh, minutes, minutes. And
No,
then I'm
we
like,
actually call that the witching hour because it's when all the kids go crazy. That's my
yeah,
husband's term for it. It's the
the
witching
witching
hour.
hour.
Everybody just goes nuts and
Yeah.
everyone's fighting with each other and everyone's getting on each other's nerves and every, somebody says something sassy to someone else
Yes,
and then
yes,
we all
yes.
eat and it's like we're a different group of people.
But see, no, it's not. It's the opposite. I feel for me, like everyone is so dead tired. Like no one has the energy to fight with anybody. And then as soon as you give them food, it's like all hell is breaking loose.
Really? No, we're like the
I don't
complete
know.
opposite. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
maybe. Yeah, they get their energy after they
Yeah.
eat. Okay, so the next one is
You're right. I am going to make a coffee after this. I
yeah,
am just,
saying you'll be productive after iftar.
oh, hell no.
Yeah, but we all say that, but we never do it.
So sometimes I am productive post of thought. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well,
Like
we
there
have
are
to be
days when
productive.
yeah, but there are days definitely where I will. There's a lot of stuff that I put off that I'm like after I've thought I'm gonna be okay. But like if I really put my mind to it and I like grab my computer and sit down and stuff, no, I am productive and I do work. A lot of
Okay,
times though during the day I'm very productive, which causes me to be extremely tired
tired.
after
Yeah,
like there are days at work where it's so busy and you're putting all your energy
that
and
effort and
focus
energy. Yeah.
into being awake and like on top of it that when
Yeah,
it's time, you're just like, "Okay,
but I
I'm."
have a moment every day during the day, like there's an hour where I am struggling,
Yeah,
to
me
keep it
too.
together, and then either I sleep it off for like half an hour or
Yep,
something,
yep.
or I just deal with it and just let it
I mean,
pass.
but there are days though when it is so hard to not sleep it off. One second.
So I don't know if you do this now still, but I know when I was a kid I did this a lot, and even sometimes now I do it when I'm fasting. Like I'll be listing the mentally listing the foods that I want to eat, like
And the
once iftar
minute
hit.
you break your fast, you're like, "I'm full."
Right? And then like I was just talking to my mom about the soups. I'm like, I don't believe in soup. Like I always make it every
I
day for
can't. It's
iftar.
my favorite
But if
part.
I know, but like that's the thing. Like my son he's like he has to have soup, and I get that. But
Me too.
if I have soup, then that's gonna take away from the space that I have
For food,
allocated for food that really matters to me. Because like you get full so easily.
I don't care. I'd rather get full on that.
Yeah. Really
It's
soup and salad.
my like, I love it.
So another one is finally breaking your fast and then getting the dreaded food coma
Every night,
every
like
night.
clockwork.
Yeah. It's
Some
just
nights are better than others, but for the most part, yeah, you get it and you're just like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so
And
awful.
I know it is awful. And then the last one that I have on here is getting your period right before iftar.
It's happened to every single one of us,
It's
ladies.
happened to every single one of us. Can I just say that? And maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm just like, I'm not going to the bathroom. I'm just gonna, roll with it. I'm
If I
gonna just
don't know
if
that
I
I
don't
don't
know, then I
know.
can't be held accountable for it.
Yeah, if I don't know what I
Is
don't
that
know,
wrong
then I
of me?
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I'm
kind
like,
of, but
you're
it's okay.
fasting. No, you're fasting all day and you're like, God damn it, like, you know it's there. But like I shouldn't do that. You're right.
Yeah, no, don't
But
do that.
it's happened to everybody.
Let me tell you, the minute I find out, I'm gone. I'm like, give me that water. Let me get a snack.
Even if it's like right before iftar, you don't get upset.
I do. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm just like, let me go get a snack. Let me go get water. It's done.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything else?
I just wanted to say, I hope everybody has a wonderful and peaceful and blessed Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem to everybody, celebrating, not celebrating. I hope it is a month of peace and spirituality and beauty for everyone, like everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it. And I can't wait to catch up with everybody and see like how your Ramadan is going and what you're doing or what you're not doing.
Yes. Ramadan Mubarak to everybody. And we'll see you on next week's episode, inshallah.
Inshallah. All right. See you guys
Bye.
later.